2000 Bonneville, it's all new from rubber to roof. And really, it just continues on a very long and proud tradition for the Bonneville. Bonneville was born in 1957, and it always has represented the top-of-the-line Pontiac. Luxury with attitude is for people that are driving enthusiasts, but also want a full-size vehicle with all the amenities that they would come to expect in a sport luxury sedan. When you sit inside the Bonneville, you get the feeling that the interior was designed specifically for you and with performance in mind. All of the controls are canted towards the driver, and with the red backlit illuminated instrument panel, it gives very much of a cockpit feel. The Bonneville has a host of personalization. In fact, if you total it up, there are over 80 different features which you can program to your own settings. And it's not just for you, it's also for somebody else that you may share the car with. So you can program features such as automatic door locks, perimeter lighting, keyless verification, window lockout, climate control, radio. Again, a tremendous amount of features to yourself and whomever you share the car with. First thing people notice with the car is that it's low, it's mean, it looks fast even when it's standing still. And we've accomplished that through a lot of different ways. We've made the vehicle wider, we've made the vehicle longer, but we've increased some of the slope of the windshield, and we've lowered the hood so we have an extremely fast wedge-shaped look to the car. However, we have retained a number of strong Pontiac styling cues. The 2000 Bonneville has world-class performance. It has two motors which are available. The 3800 is the standard motor, that's 205 horsepower. And the motor which is standard in the SSCI is a supercharged version. It's 240 horsepower, has 280 foot-pounds of torque. And really what it does is it gives you power throughout the engine operation. Yeah, and it's really fun to drive. When you're driving the car, you are going to feel connected to the road. It's not an isolated ride. It's not like a big, boaty, isolated luxury car vehicle or riding in the back seat of the limousine. That's not why people buy Pontiacs, and that's not why people are going to buy the all-new 2000 Bonneville. Pontiacs have always been known for wide track styling, but it's not just a styling cue. It really increases the ride and handling of the vehicle. By pushing the wheels out to the corners of the car, you're going to get better cornering and a better ride and handling feel for the car. Bonneville has a proud safety story to talk about for 2000. You know, a multitude of approaches to safety. We have occupant protection features such as airbags, catcher's mitt style seats, self-aligning headrests, all belts to seats. All of those can help you in the event of a collision. We also have engineered a number of safety features to help you avoid the accident in the first place. Those would include all-speed traction control, standard analog brakes, heads-up display on the SSCI. These are all features which can help you avoid the accident to begin with. Current Driver actually did a full segment on the all-new 2000 Bonneville on their television program, and they took the car out, they put it through their own tests, they drove it on the track, and they formed their own drive impression. Now let's take a look at what Current Driver thought.
Welcome to this edition of Car and Driver. I'm Jim Scouten with a news flash for Y2K. Take your first look at the new Bonneville for the model year 2000. It's a Car and Driver exclusive, as we're the first to take Pontiac's hot new ride into the next century. We chose the not yet completed new Irwindale Speedway in the Los Angeles Basin for our first meeting with the Bonneville, secure from unauthorized eyes. And Pontiac's flagship is an eyeful, based on a new platform just being introduced for GM midsize and luxury cars.
That's correct. This is all new from the ground up. This is based off of the most advanced mid-lux architecture that we've got, most recently introduced on the 98 Seville. It's got 27% increase in bending and a 62% increase in torsional stiffness, so a much more rigid body structure.
And the new architecture also brings that Pontiac signature, a wider track.
what we've done is we've taken the car and made it more of a wedge shape, taken the haunches and widened them out a little bit, given it more of a squatty appearance, and we've lengthened the wheelbase and lengthened the track so that the wheels are now pushed out of the corners.
Inside, that creates comfortable space for 5 with legroom in back for 6-footers. Driver and passenger get multi-adjustable buckets that are comfortable but could benefit from more lateral support. Shoulder belts now retract into the seat back above the side airbag compartments. And the instrument panel is all new and much improved in control placement with the primary functions surrounding the driver. Auto temp dual zone heating and air controls are in the center under the superb Delco Bose 8-speaker stereo. The console presents the selector for the 4-speed auto with the traction control switch close at hand, which you probably won't want to switch off. Not if you check off the box for the optional supercharger between the heads of the 3.8-liter V6, sending 240 horses to the front wheel. Pontiac says that's good for a tick over 7 seconds in the dash to 60, and our stopwatch testing suggests that's about right. But the hot Bonneville is not a handful to drive.
Pontiac's done a good job at controlling the power, 240 horsepower in a front-wheel drive car. Not a lot of torque steer in this vehicle, especially with the traction control engaged.
You'll want to read Steve's detailed analysis in his cover story for the March edition. But we can tell you that the standard 4-wheel disc with anti-lock definitely performed. And in our limited seat time on the Irwindale half-mile oval, the stiffer structure of the Bonneville is apparent. In SSEI trim with firmer struts and anti-roll bars, both front and rear, and 17-inch low-profile Goodyears on all corners, Pontiac's flagship handles like none that have come before.
Their target was the BMW 3 and 5 series in terms of handling. I'm not sure they're quite there. We're talking front-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive for the BMW, but they're certainly a lot closer than they were.
Realistically, the SSEI will go up against the Chrysler 300M when it comes to market, and it should be an interesting face-off to track, with an estimated base price of $31,000, about $34,000 equipped with the options on our tester. It may come down to an individual reaction to the styling, whether you love it or leave it.
It's not a simple design. It could tend to polarize people. Some people don't like the amount of different sort of contours you have in the side of this car. I think it's attractive. I think it holds together pretty well as a whole package, though. In terms of the overall looks, there's a nice sense of family styling here. It looks a little bit like the Grand Prix. You can tell that it's definitely something new, but you can also tell it's definitely a Pontiac.
For a number of years now, Pontiac has been the GM division on the outer edge of styling development, and some of those experiments have not been entirely successful. But in the case of the new Bonneville, we think it works very well. And backed up with a blown V6, it's reassuring to learn that at least in Pontiac's case, driving in the new millennium isn't going to be the least bit boring.
The ride and handling is the key story for 2000, really, with the Bonneville. And I could tell you how fun and exciting it is to drive, but there's really only one way to get that impression. That's to get in, get behind the wheel, and to drive the new car, and you will be impressed.